Hello, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at one of the easiest to play teams for the Open Great League, a Legend team here. This team got Turbo to Legend, so congrats to you. While, yes, they got to Legend with this one, I've seen variations of the team the entire time throughout also my Legend run, and yeah, a lot of top players play this team high up in the leaderboards, and for good reason. Like, this team is ridiculously overpowered. Really consistent. I did like 4 or 5 sets with this team, climbed up over 150 points total with it as well. I stopped before because on purpose, because we had Go Battle weekend. I didn't really have a lot of time. I still kind of wanted to get a little bit of battles done, and it took 5 minutes sometimes to find battles in like top 200 leader range. But anyway, as you're going to see here today, we're going to see a team with a really tough double ground in the background. And also, as said before already, I saw a lot of variations of this team, which also means there are going to be some substitutes that you can run as well, which is really, really good for you, as we're going to talk about them as well today. There are quite a lot of Pokemon first game we're going to be easily able to win. Next opponent, we're going to encounter here the Guslord in the lead. This is going to be a very great matchup for us. In comes the Azumarill, and we are going to be able to go ahead and go for the Swift here as well soon. As the opponent tries their best to go for the Ice Beam, we're going to be able to get some Swift damage off here. And what other Pokemon can you run here? And what would be a very, very good Pokemon to run for this team? We can talk a little bit about this here right now. One Pokemon that you should maybe consider running is Gastrodon. Gastrodon gonna give you also an advantage against Pokemon like Azumarill, because otherwise you're going to have a double water weakness in the bag, and Azumarill can be a little bit tricky because also your lead doesn't really work too well with that. But I would recommend you to even run Gastrodon over the Alolan Marowak, not the Alolan normal Marowak, of course, Cantonian Marowak. While Cantonian Marowak is one of the most broken Pokemon here as well, I feel like Diggersby has a little bit more of a uniqueness towards it, which I feel like is kind of good for this team, which is that you have Quick Attack being a neutral move against a lot of Pokemon, but also Fire Punch allowing you to hit Pokemon like Grass types generally for super effective damage. And the trade-off hitting Grass-type Pokemon for super effective damage is definitely something very important, as it's going to allow you to bait out also like potential answers for the Pokemon in the back. And if you want to run Gastrodon instead in the back, that would work out really, really well. Other Pokemon that you could consider as like Pokemon in the back is usually generally Mudslappers. You have some very nice Shadow Mudslappers as options, like the Golurk, like for example also the Donphan. Both of those Pokemon easily going to be able to work for this team as well. And so feel free to do whatever you want to do with this team. Honestly, this team is amazing. Again, I saw so many people run this team in high up Evo range. The only big problem of this team is it is very predictable. Like, you will most days see opponents that are going to be able to play around a little bit, especially in like the higher you get, because they expect that if you have a Wigglytuff in the lead and you have a Sasop of ground type Pokemon, very likely going to be a Marowak in the back or like another Mudslapper. Another weakness might be also this Pokemon here, which is going to be the Talonflame, which is not as bad as it seems though, because as you're gonna see here, you're gonna get the attack drop, which is kinda cool. We know already that we're going to need our other Pokemon there as well a little bit more with our Marowak, and so we're gonna let the Fly go through. They're gonna be able to go for another charge move here as well. By the way, we had crazy lag here as well. I don't know if you're gonna see it as well, but there were times we had frame drops for like 2-3 seconds straight, where I couldn't attack for 2-3 seconds. The game was just frozen and the opponent was able to go for attacks. Is it something that you have as well? This was only during Go Battle day where I noticed it so far, but that was madness. But here, as we will see, the game is not over yet, definitely not, but we still have an option at least to win this battle. We still are going to be in a little bit of a tough spot though, because the opponent has a super effective hit with Brian, and sadly that is going to be enough. If we had Gastrodon in the back, I think we would have been able to win this one. So, next opponent, Talonflame in the lead. And how are you going to play against those Pokemon? Again, there are going to be some core breakers for the team. One of the most common, not common, but like most obvious core breaker are going to be grass and poison type Pokemon, by the way, which are going to be able to kind of beat you quite easily. But again, like, you're going to have Fire Punch and Quick Attack, maybe you're going to be able to do some damage with that one. And a lot of the poison and grass type Pokemon are not as bulky, allowing you to do some nice damage with Mud Slap plus Charm. Still, this team definitely worked out really well for me. Like, I have to say, this team was really, really consistent. Very easy to be played as well. You have an AUB style line, you have fast move pressure with your lead. You kind of want to swap out if you have a bad lead into your Diggersby. Diggersby has Fire Punch for a grass type Pokemon, has Scorching Sands for basically everything else. And then you're going to try to kind of keep some nice shields, especially for the Pokemon that we have in the back. And it's kind of on how you play this team. And so, yeah, it's quite an easy one here to run. As you can see as well against the opponent, we're actually going to be able to go for the Icy one, which is really cool, as now their attack is going to be dropped. They're still going to be forced to go for another charge move here as well. They're very, very low. And as long as they don't have 2 charge moves at this point, we're going to be fine here. Flame Charge is going to be great, as now we can go for the Mud Slap or the Quick Attack down actually. And they have Ferrothorn on the back, that's a really good variant for the Quick Attack down. Does not want to get hit by a Fire Punch here. As we'll see, they're going to go straight for this one. I can even overfarm by a little bit here as well. Still go for another one as well now. And now we can swap out into the Marowak, and I will be able to win this battle, as Mud Slap is just taking too much damage off them. They can go ahead and go for the Power Whip here. I can use a shield, and I just will be able to do enough damage here with this next charge move. And this is going to be a very good game against a Talonflame, which generally speaking is difficult to deal with. So even against your answers, you have some play. It is the same as well for something like Skarmory. Like so far, like most of the battles you've seen so far are complete hard counters to this team. So like you see, not just, oh yeah, you have like a Gastrodon in the lead, and then you're going to have like 2 poison type Pokemon in the back. This stuff going to exist as well. Of course, it's actually a very common line currently as well to have Gastrodon plus like something like Drapion and then Toxapex in the back. Like this definitely does exist as well. But this team is really good at countering the current meta. Scorching Sand is coming through against the opponent now. Let's see what we can do next. We're going to try our best to go for a Fire Punch as well. But of course, we're going to be now in a very difficult position, right? Like we're going to be in a spot where we have no Pokemon really to deal with Skarmory anymore. Skarmory is not like a Pokemon you want to deal with this team. Where again, maybe Gastrodon might be better in the back, because Gastrodon is going to be able to resist the fast move. But yeah, we're going to be forced to go into our Marowak now. And we're kind of going to be forced to go ahead and go for some shields as well here, very likely. As they decided to go for the charge move, we're definitely going to have to use a shield here. We still chunk them quite a bit though with the Mud Slap alone. And they decide to now go ahead and catch the move, which did not work out. It's going to be a Clodsire coming in. And we will see here that Bone Club is going to do some solid damage, but not enough to knock them out yet. And I overfarm a little bit, but not enough for them to go for another charge move. So another Bone Club is coming through, going to get the knockout. And now it's down to me trying to get to another Rock Slide. Let's see, I can go for one Rock Slide here. I will get the shield here, which is kind of unfortunate because now I'm forced to go for the Bone Club soon. But as we will see, I can actually just get them insanely low already, just with charm damage. And as we will see as well, the opponent is going to be forced to go for another charge move here. Means their energy dry, we have energy on our Marowak, and while we have the hardest answer to this team in the lead, it did not help them at all, as we're going to be able to knock them out here, and we can move on to the next opponent. Let's see, Wigglytuff against Dunsparce. This is again not an ideal lead matchup. You have an ABB style line, so on how do you want to play here? This is something that a lot of people confuse, and the entire time I see it all the time in the comment section on how to play an ABB style line. People think like, oh, you're going to have this double weakness in the back, this is going to be horrible for you. Like, how are you going to be able to maneuver around this kind of stuff? This is exactly on how you can maneuver around it. Not too sure if I'm going to win this battle, don't get me wrong. But if you're going to have a lead matchup that is neutral, which it would be the case here with Dunsparce against Wigglytuff, that's a very neutral matchup. You want to swap out. You really want to swap out because you need to bait out potentially flying type Pokemon here with my ground type, which is in this case one of the worst one to face for me, which is going to be the Drifblim. And you might think, why did he swap out of here? This is something that I was wondering here as well right now. So, like, I don't know why I did this, to be fair. But I can still I still have a chance here. I can still go for the Icy Wind to drop the opponent's attack. And I can try my best to get energy on my other Pokemon. I think I just wanted to keep the energy on my Diggersby, because apparently they don't have like a grass type in the back. If they do go ahead and go for a flying type Pokemon, they're like Drifblim. And I can hopefully get some extra energy now on my Marowak as well to kind of, threaten them a little bit. Or I just decide to go straight into the Diggersby again for no reason particularly here as well. But yeah, I kind of want to swap out, bait out the potential answers. And as we will see here, we still definitely... Oh, I think this is actually the game where we have the craziest frame drop ever. Like, I think this is the game that it was. Let's see if it's going to be the case here. Bone Type coming through. We actually kind of played this quite well here so far. I can use a shield. There's still, of course, a Drifblim in the back. But I still have all the energy on my own Diggersby, so I'm not too worried about it right now. I can let the move go through. It is going to be the Bone Club, which does less damage than Icy Wind would do, so I guess it's going to be fair to let the move go through. The opponent is going to go for, I can go for a Bone Club as well. And we can now farm them down with a Quick Attack. Look at this. Like, what is this? Like, if I tell you, like, this is sped up by 1.7 times the speed. And you saw already how much energy the opponent got through it. And with this, we just lose the game immediately. I feel like there was definitely a way of still winning this. Like, the opponent had like 2 1 HP Pokemon, and that Drifblim that maybe would have been gone down there to like 2 extra Fire Punches, and I think I had more health on the Diggersby. But anyway, if you lag for like 3 turns, like completely, it is what it is. But if you're wondering if people don't have the same issues as you have. I have the same issues as well with the game, don't get me wrong. The next opponent here actually is kind of hilarious because I know this player. He follows me on Twitter and he is, I think, a big player for like League of Legends or something. Let me actually check real quick. I know that he was like a really big. Yeah, he's 100,000 followers on Twitter already, which is kind of madness. And on Twitch, he also has like a lot of them. He follows me on Twitter as well, which is kind of hilarious. So shouts to you. Always good to play. The last time I battled him, I lost against him. This time around, I'm going to see here as well that I'm going to have a great matchup for myself and completely destroy him. He's actually currently live for over 800 viewers, which is really funny, and has over 230,000 people following him on Twitch. So shouts to you. Very cool to see you here. But you have no shot against my wiggl, and so we're going to be able to win this battle here as well. But yeah, good game there. Very cool to see like someone with also a huge following there as well. And they have less subscribers on YouTube than me, so yeah, it's also at least a benefit. But I don't stream. Like streaming is their main thing, so that is kind of the way to go. I actually really want to go back into streaming, but we have currently like a lot of things going on here. But hopefully we want to be able to get into a streaming routine soon as well on this channel, so definitely stay tuned for this one eventually. I cannot say when it's going to happen. Maybe it's going to start next month, maybe it's going to start this month, but I really would like to stream at least one day of the week, most likely like a weekend day. I think it would be really cool. Like, would you be interested in some streams again? I know I haven't been streaming in I think 10 months at this point, but yeah, I really kind of want to get a little bit back into streaming as well again. I just need to find like something that really fits for me. And it's usually most likely going to be with Lily anyway, which you know from the channel, as it's going to make it a little bit easier for me. Actually, my biggest issue with streaming, and it's like something that maybe a lot of people that watch a stream don't really appreciate as much as they maybe should, is actually talking for over an hour straight. It is way more difficult than you think. Like if you do it like I know, like maybe you just talk to like your mate or whatever, but I don't know, like at least for myself, like just doing YouTube and stuff, like this is very this just goes on the voice, like really goes on the voice, and it's really kind of hurtful even after like 1.5 hours or something of streaming. So it's also one of the main reasons why I don't really stream via like YouTube content a little bit more, as they're going to hardwall here the opponent's Bastion, and as they're going to be able to go for some fire punches against the jump bluff. It is just something that I kind of want to just talk a little bit about as well towards streaming. It can be actually quite physically draining, which is something that you maybe don't really expect. Of course, yeah, like streaming is for fun, like it is just like a side effect of it. But like I see like some people on Twitch, also for Pokemon Go, like streaming for 6 hours straight. Shouts to you. I respect this fully. I feel like, at least for me personally, that's something that really takes a lot out of me. So that's why like YouTube released a little bit more. That's why I don't stream as much. Just want to say it. But I kind of want to get back into streaming a little bit more, and it's easier with another person. But anyway, you know what's also quite easy? To destroy Bastions. I love destroying Bastions with a double ground team here. So goodbye there. That's going to be it for this battle as well, as the opponent decides to forfeit here. Final battle, we're gonna commentate this one here. Thanks so much, by the way, for sticking around. Thanks so much for listening to my stories as well about what is up. And also, thanks so much for not doing the mistakes that I'm doing here in this battle. I decided to go ahead and, yeah, let the move go through here. It's going to be Psychic Fangs. I show up into Diggersby. Diggersby is way bulkier. Diggersby are going to allow you to put more pressure onto the opponent. Diggersby are going to allow you to go for a Fire Punch after hitting a Scorching Sand. Marek is a lovely little boy there. Like, Marek is a cool boy, don't get me wrong. Marek is my mate. But still, this Pokemon has some issues sometimes in terms of realignment. And so what we will see here next is that the opponent is going to be able to align themselves. And that is scary. And you know what's also scary? Why does the opponent get to choose so much later than I do? Look how much time it took there for them to get into the Pokemon. They go back into the trophies. Great play by them. But I was thinking there's very likely going to be a Bastion in the back. And you might think, well, why would you swap out of here? Like, why would you swap out of there? That doesn't make sense, right? Does. Like, the thing is, while I was expecting Bastion, I also know that my best bet is to get them into range for just one Scorching Sands by using my wiggl, dropping their attack the entire time, and trying to get as much energy as possible on my Diggersby later on to punish the Trailbreakers. But does this plan actually work out is something that you're going to see here right now. While I would have had perfect alignment from the get-go, I am going to be a little bit in a tough spot, but as you see there already, I got a ton of energy on my Diggersby now, allowing me to go for 2 Fire Punches before they can go to the next Leaf Blade, hopefully. And as you will see as well, first Fire Punch coming through. I'm fairly certain I would lose the Peter, so I decided to go for an extra fast move here as well now. This is going to allow us to knock out this Tropius, but now we have to be a bit mindful. The opponent still has their Bastion here, but I think they just recently went for the Charge here, didn't they? I think they went for a Stone against us, I'm not too sure about it, but as we will see, a Flamethrower is coming through, it barely does any damage, and we are going to be able to still reach this Charge move here, and this is going to be enough to knock them out, and this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, a very cool Legend team, and I'll see you then, bye bye.